Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
For me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't for me again.
What we gonna eat no money, what we at you, eat no at you. Go be money, miss we eat the your little rat you. Use the youth, them money, waste and bust a man to statue. Say me like a catch you, but bigger than a figure you. Take the spit of money, girl, and say that it's not you. On the head, the man above him, him a got a bet. Too much eating at the kitchen, some a fly well like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me,
300% raise.
it burn me,
Garbage pile of the day.
it burn me,
Give the teacher them
it
raise.
burn me,
I see corruption
it
cease.
burn me,
Mash down the people them house.
it burn me,
Every day appear arms out.
it burn me,
Appear money them a thief.
it burn me.
And them a sell out with each.
Can't for me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't for me again.
Come me say big up all the charities and all of the giver. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The 100 the promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in our fever. Member bowl only and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start and thief for themselves.
It burn me,
Or they treat the market man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the cat man.
it burn me,
Or they treat the peanut man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the dirt man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the son man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat policeman.
it burn me,
How them a treat soldier man.
it burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't for me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again.
Stevie dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no cape. And some informer friend we love lake. We in Global, but a fake friend and but a thief. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on a cheek come here represent for. We in Global TV. Check it.
Good morning and welcome to Global TV. It is Monday the 17th of February 2025. And Over Bradley Road came out this morning, doubling down, telling all of us that we are dunce and we cannot read, including Mr. Bolt's lawyer, because what Mr. Bolt's lawyer responded to, it is not what they are talking about. The yapping chihuahua of a minister comes out and double down. We'll try once more this morning to see if we can help the minister to understand. To my community of parity and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good morning and welcome. Like and share the live, please. Sharon Bernard, good morning. Christine Gilbert, Andrea Joan Hamilton Wilson, good morning. Perspective Power, good morning. Let me see who is on TikTok. Kenneth, Derek, Kayla, Little Miss, Debbie Duncan, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. We're going to listen to Dean Jackson Miller perspective on the development of the whole saga surrounding Mr. Bolt's money. Because them who come tell we, say Mr. Bolt money never reach at SSL. They are doubling down. But what they're trying to do is switch the blame onto us. We are having a conversation that Mr. Bolt never invested money at SSL. But that's not the conversation he's saying they're having. They're having a conversation that a substantial amount never got there. Them still not understand what the attorney says. It is still not clear to over Bradley Road or whatever they are, what the minister, what was said. But let's get Dean Jackson Miller's view on this, because I love the Dean Jackson Miller on YouTube. It's the Dean Jackson Miller on TVJ that I will not really pay much attention to. But I will pay great attention to Dean Jackson Miller on YouTube, and I would suggest that you subscribe to the Dean Jackson Miller on YouTube, because it's quite much a different Dean Jackson Miller to the one on TVJ. Let's get her view, then we'll try to get it to the minister one more time, because education is important.
All right, so we have to come back to the Usain Bolt case with everything that's been going on. So Bolt finally spoke out on the SSL issue. He got attacked on social media. He pushed back. And in the meantime, the prosecution says it is ready to proceed with the matter. So a whole heap to talk about here. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Dean Jackson Miller. Time for tea. So first and foremost, big up to the team at The Fix who scored a big interview with Bolt. He talked for the first time in detail about how he feels about the facts of them thieving money over at SSL. Big scoop. So again, big up on yourself. So it was kind of rough to listen to Bolt talk about this lie. I mean, the man is obviously frustrated. Millions of US dollars are money gone, and he doesn't know what is going on with it. And he said he has not got back his money, contrary to the rumors on social media. Let me start, though, with the news reported by the Gleaner that Director of Public Prosecutions, Paula Llewellyn, says they're ready to try the case against SSL investment advisor Jean-Ann Panton. And she said the case is at criminal case management, but Panton has changed lawyers. So she says this case against Panton involving Bolt's money is ready to go ahead, but that doesn't have anything to do with whether her office gets the additional documents and material they said they need from the investigators to make a decision whether anyone else will be charged. And I spoke about this and what she said about the pace of the investigation in my video asking where is Bolt's money, so you can check that out. I admit to being a little bit confused at this point, right? This kind of case, complex fraud case, we keep hearing how complex it is, can take years to investigate and months if and when it goes to trial. You're going to need expert witnesses who have gone through the documents and come to whatever conclusions they can come to, and who would spend days in the witness box, being questioned, being examined, and especially being cross-examined. So I'm just surprised at what sounds like a suggestion like this one case involving including Gina and Panton, could go ahead before we know if anybody else is going to be charged. Because I just don't see any way in which you would want to go through all of this twice, plus not to mention the logistics of getting the various witnesses and so on together again to testify about the same fraud more than once. So what I would expect is that everybody in the fraud case is going to go to trial at the same time, assuming there are going to be other people charged. I know that's a big assumption. Now, the DPP did say she expects to get the additional documentation from the investigators by the end of February. So if anyone else is going to be charged, it's obviously not going to be too late to have the trials go on together, to have everybody tried at the same time. I'm just surprised, though, at the suggestion that the one case involving Panton is going ahead. And if it's in criminal case management, that means it is going ahead. So I'll wait to see what's going to happen. But as I said, not quite understanding what I'm hearing here. By the way, both Bolt and his lawyer, Linton Gordon, have said they're not happy with the pace of the investigation. Bolt said on the fix, all this money missing and one person know about it. One person can't move around and nobody else know about it in a big institution where it's supposed to be regulated. He said, yeah, tell me, say you run an institution and you don't notice nothing go on, you don't get audit, nothing happen, because clearly it's a gone for years. Then his lawyer, Mr. Gordon, right, did an interview with me, and Mr. Gordon said this. He said the only person charged so far is that low-level employee. We have not heard that anyone else has been charged. We find it difficult to believe that she alone can be held responsible for removal of the funds. And I think a lot of people agree with them, by the way, including me. How could one person, one dege person, according to the allegations, go rogue for over a decade, thief so much money from so much people, and nobody else knows anything about it? And it's not a Ponzi scheme in a regulated entity where you're supposed to be having regular audits. Anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We still haven't heard the ruling from the DPP. She said she's expecting to get the additional information she needs from the investigators by the end of February. So we'll see what happens after that.
Hold on, take a look at this. Think you can tell what's real anymore? What you're looking at right now isn't a traditional.
So the social media attacks now. So Bolt said it made him think about his importance in Jamaica's food chain, because he said it's been 2 years, him saying, can't see back a dime. He said it licked me for 6. What may I expect, me not get. What me think more that say, me not get from certain people. And the government alone really can't do nothing. And he hinted at high-level assurances made by people in government, because he said there's been conversations, but nothing has materialized out of the conversations. So then people started coming after him on social media. So one of the lines of attack was that he was a private investigator. He can't expect government to pay him back, and he was asking government to pay him back. So I like to look very carefully at what people say, and this is what Bolt said. What may I expect, me not get. What may think more that say, me not get from certain people. There's been conversations, but nothing has materialized out of the conversations. So it sounds like certain assurances were made to Bolt, right? What was said to him, we don't know. A speedy investigation, compensation, from who, when, after the legal proceedings have been completed, when, remember, the state agency does go after recovery of assets at that point. So we don't know exactly what was said to him. I don't know exactly what he's expecting, except I might expect that somebody must do something and he must get back his money. As I said, there were a lot of social media responses to him. One of the ones that got the most attention was from former counsel Venetia Phillips, formerly of the PNP, now with the JLP. And her post said, did you get advice or directive from government directly or indirectly regarding making the investment you made and then lost? Was it all privately done? Have you sued the person who managed your affairs? The only reason I'm highlighting that is because she is a supporter of the JLP. She ran in the last local government elections on the JLP ticket, but more importantly, Bolt actually answered her. It's the one post I think I've actually seen him respond to. And he said she was victim blaming and told her not to be a syndicate. She went on to say she wasn't victim blaming. She said her questions were legitimate. So all I'm going to say about that is that, in a context in which after 2 years, Bolt finally speaks out, saying the government isn't doing enough. And then comes this question asking whether he took advice from government in making the investment. It sounds like he's been asked if a government did tell him to put him money there. So. And I think that is what he's probably responding to and why other people have responded in that way as well. His lawyer, Linton Gordon, also spoke out and he put out a statement and he said, there now appears to be an organized effort to shift blame onto Bolt for his loss when he's guilty of nothing more than investing in the country he loves. This is a textbook case of victim blaming. It appears to be an attempt to absolve the government of its failure to protect the public and those defrauded by SSL. He said even more concerning is the apparent attempt to silence victims and manipulate the narrative about who is truly responsible for this large-scale fraud, which has left hundreds of Jamaicans without their hard-earned money and no clear path to recovery. And I interviewed him after that statement came out, and he said he called it a nasty and unfortunate approach being taken. He said, I think they have a motive. It will come out in due course. Now, his lawyers also responded to a story that had been carried saying a substantial amount of Bolt's money was stolen before reaching an account at SSL. And in the statement, they said all funds lodged at SSL by Mr. Bolt's company were transferred via bank transactions, and each and every payment was acknowledged by the institution in writing. And Mr. Gordon, the lawyer, said the lodgements were confirmed in court. The media house is saying they stand by the story. So
let me interject here. This is the problem that Cross the Street come out with this morning, that we have a different understanding. The lawyer have a different understanding because the lawyer did not respond to what they say a substantial amount. Then idiot, if the lawyer is saying all the transaction was banked by bank transfer and an acknowledgement, and you come out and you was so fluffed this morning, but it just show how not dunce cross the road.
So look, let's put what's happening in some kind of context and perspective, all right? So yes, we all know Bolt is a track legend. But for us, he's way more than that, you know. He's inspiration, he's motivation, he's hope, and he's confirmation that poor people with talent can reach somewhere, even the top of the world. So when the man, after staying more or less quiet for 2 years, just some occasional cryptic little social media posts, you know, in Mecca, you know, say matter about the SSL thing, hasn't given any interviews, any long interviews on this matter to international media. He finally comes out frustrated because he wants money and criticizes the government, saying they're not doing enough. The tribalists decide to come after him, come after Bolt. When I couldn't pass on the one here, even out of respect. Yeah, and I'm not saying don't talk about the issue, don't talk about what Bolt has said, you know, don't respond. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying the tone and the framing of some of the comments is more than unfortunate. I mean, I think in some level, it rises to the level of disgraceful, honestly. So one thing is for sure, Bolt does not feel that enough is being done. He said if they were doing enough, it would have reached a certain level already. He said it's been 2 years, it's not done away, it's almost at a stalemate. And he also suggested that at one point, he probably have to go talk to international media to try to put some more pressure on the situation. So his lawyer, Mr. Gordon, also said they were concerned about the pace of the investigation, right? And just to say that I did explain what the Director of Public Prosecutions has said on this matter in my video called Where is Bolt's Money? Again, you can go and check that out. When I interviewed Mr. Gordon, though, he said they were excited and happy when they were told that to support local investigators were being brought in from the United States and from Europe. But he said those have come and gone, and we don't know what has happened or what they achieved or what they found. So when I interviewed Mr. Gordon, though, he said one of the things they're very worried about is if Bolt going to be able to get back his money at all. And that is because he said there haven't been any applications to freeze anybody's accounts with a court order, meaning get a court order to say that, you know, when you think of freezing an account, it means nothing can go in, nothing can go out. And he said that would be important at the end of the day to make sure that there is money for payback victims. So he said our concern is heightened by the fact that no effort came from the investigations whereby an application was made to freeze anybody's assets, nothing like that. So both Bolt and his lawyer have said, yes, they are going to take legal action. They have been doing some stuff, but as I said in my previous video, more than likely that kind of thing is going to have to wait until the criminal case is concluded and we really know what is what. Gonna have to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. I'm keeping up on this one. I'll keep doing videos as we get more information. All right. Remember to like the video, share it with some.
It's important that you subscribe to Dean Jackson Miller on YouTube, because the Dean Jackson Miller on YouTube is a total different person. But those who run with the propaganda is now saying all of us cannot read because the lawyer didn't respond to what they said. But the gaslighting of the Jamaica Labour Party and their supporters, only them cannot see that the behavior of the Jamaica Labour Party and their supporters to Mr. Bolt is very, very disgraceful. It's the lowest blow that Jamaicans, the members of the Jamaica Labour Party, have ever thrown at one of us. It's quite a very, very low blow. But they're not getting it. Nothing in the Mr. Bolt issue they're not getting. All they are telling you, the government is not responsible. It's nothing to do with the government. It's nothing to do with this. It is nothing to do with that. But remember, members of the Jamaica Labour Party, your disgraceful behavior, the world is seeing it. Not only Jamaica is watching it, you know. The world is seeing the disgraceful behavior that Andrew Holness sent out one of his surrogate, Venetia Phillips, to launch a disgraceful attack on Mr. Bolt. The government did that. That will not be forgotten in the Jamaican people's psyche. We will not allow Jamaica people to forget how the Prime Minister of Jamaica cheated Usain Bolt after 2 years of silence, given that close operative of the Jamaica Labour Party, regulated by them, robbed Mr. Bolt and a lot of investors in broad daylight, but he was hit $12 million US. And all Andrew Holness could do, the one time Mr. Bolt speak, is to get his political surrogate to launch an attack on Mr. Bolt. The world is watching. We're going to make Marlene lighten the mood before we get to Nesta Morgan, because it's heavy around Nesta. And when it's heavy around you, you don't tend to see the lighter part of the cloud. Dark cloud gather around me, Nesta Morgan. We're going to try with the minister one more time this morning. But what we're going to do, we're going to make Marlene lighten the mood before we try with the minister again. like how Marlene lightened the mood. You know, the minister was at the funeral. The minister seemed to have forgotten that he was at a funeral. So people felt that he could have showed some sympathy. He could have been empathetic. He could have been a human for one day. But no, the minister went off on a political propaganda with a casket in front of him and mourners sitting in front of him. But certainly one thing I would add to this, it would have to be a JLP funeral because nobody else wouldn't allow them to come at them funeral. Okay, for mine, me I go draw him right off of the rostrum in front of everybody. Listen to the minister again, and then we're going to listen to the minister doubling down rhetoric.
True. We would have done some work to bring the water up to Eden, but it never enough. So we sent NWC the other day to do a survey from up here, go all the way down to Darlow. Because when you used to have water down there, not true. And we're going to put back the water down there so that we can get back the water. And this is done by March, April. So you know, have to ask. The last true.
That was a funeral minister. The minister has been criticized on social media because of such horse manure. The minister then came out and doubled down for about 7 minutes of doubling down. The yapping chihuahua of the Jamaica Labour Party, rather than understand what people are saying, the yapping chihuahua of a minister went away on 7 minutes of yabbering, doubling down on the bullshit of a rhetoric and his political vote seeking.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Robert Nestor Morgan here, MP North Central Clarendon and Minister with responsibility.
Killing him teeth like conk and dog, you will have to bear the pain of it. But it's important to listen to how important it is to put horse manure when you plant things, because horse manure make things grow fast. Listen to the growth of bullshit.
Yesterday I did a funeral in Hammer Hill in Eden, and I was on the stage and I announced to the people that we will be fixing their road and we will also be bringing them water. Now remember, Eden Road between Eden and Darlow in Moko is not a road that is the responsibility of the Member of Parliament. It is a road that is the responsibility of the parish council. But one of the things I want to say to people and even my colleagues is that the people don't really care who is responsible for the road, you know. The people want their road to be repaired. And as Member of Parliament, I have made a decision as Minister of Works that as many roads I can repair in my constituency, I will repair them. No, I'm not trying to give myself an unfair advantage. I'm not trying to do more than what reasonably I should be doing, because there are other 62 constituencies who also need roads. But wherever I have the opportunity to repair roads,
Lurleen, me no want batter him, but listen to the bullshit.
Program, I will be doing it. So I announced to the people at the funeral, a man by the name, well, I'm not going to call him my name, but I announced at the funeral that we'll be repairing the Eden Road. Not only that, but even before this gentleman died, the National Water Commission paid a visit to Eden and they did a tour, because there was a pipe that was run from Eden to to Darlow.
Labor
And
rights pan
the
TikTok
NWC
time on
would
the
have
day
looked
after
at that
Sangwan
pipe and said, all
disgraceful.
right,
Tap
well,
up
we
the
think we can do
screen.
some
Time on the day
remedial work
after
on it so
learn.
people can
Tap
get
up the
water.
screen
80%
and
of my
learn
costs
while
are
I
in
tap
water,
the
and this was
screen.
long before my time. I've been an MP for 4 years. Other persons have been there for many, 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 many more years than me, and they have not done any work in the division. But as a member of parliament, I have decided to do the work. The fascinating thing and what interests me is that somebody put up the video of me telling the people that they're gonna get them road and them water and quarreling that I should not have told the people that they're gonna get their road and their water. I was amazed to see it. I was like, so people get.
Let me interject here. That's a lie. That is a lie. Nobody said you shouldn't tell the people that they're getting road and water. A funeral is not the only place you can inform them that they're getting road and water. It is not the best place either. It is not an appropriate place either. Continue, Minister. Continue.
Getting road and water is a problem now. We shouldn't tell the people them. So because you couldn't do it, or because you never want to do it, because you not do no work, I come and I say, I am gonna do it. You're upset. Well, guess what? I have fixed more roads in North Central than any other MP. The only person who can probably compete with me is Bradrick, and that was in the 80s. So I have done Woodall, I have done Rock River, I have done Marisol, I have done work in Gardenwood, I have done, as a matter of fact, one of the most important roads I did was a place called Bottom Cross, Smithfield, which is a parish council road. Remember, the people were walking on dirt and we were able to give them a road. And I was shocked that another guy went down to the people after NW went and looked at the road. Another person went to the community, another meeting, and tell them that, okay, I'm going to fix the road, but I only have $3 million to fix it. $3 million couldn't fix Smithfield. NWA spent approximately $19 million on Smithfield. And now the people, you see the video on my page, you can scroll down and watch it. The people of Smithfield, Bottom Crawling, Darlow, have a proper road. And I'm saying to everybody who is watching this video, to the people of Moko, to the people of Chaffleton, to the people of Rock River, your son,
when we speak of being disconnected from those who you are elected to serve, the yapping chihuahua of a government minister is a perfect example. Let me help you, Minister. The conversation, the reaction to your presentation at the funeral was referring to, Minister, place and time. Place and time, Minister. There's several places, taunt amount of it, where Mr. Morgan can arrange a meeting to meet his constituents and inform them of roads and water coming to their constituency. A funeral, Minister, is quite a solemn, painful moment for family members, friends, and community. It is an evening, Minister, where one would gather with the family to share in their grief as well as celebrate the life of their loved one. Not an evening of politics, Minister. That is what everyone is saying. We're not saying you should not announce water and road, Minister, but where When you go to a funeral, try to lie like Mr. Green. Tom Jones was a hard-working person. Tom Jones was very loving. The entire community loved. Just go back and look at all the funerals in Southwest St. Elizabeth that your colleague, Mr. Green, my MP, would have visited and gave his presentation at all these funerals. At no time, Mr. Morgan, I can remember Minister Green went off on a political brouhaha. He rather lied about how loving and how hardworking and how much of a community person the person was. Even though I can tell you of a fact, Mr. Green does not know them. I can tell you that of a fact because I know them and I know that Mr. Green does not know them. But Mr. Green will go on to tell you how loving they were, how hardworking they were, how much of a community person they were. Because Mr. Green understands that it's a funeral. So he wouldn't go there and tell us that we're going to get roads. I've never seen him done that. And Floyd Green have visited many funerals. It's one of the things that Floyd Green do, visit dance and funeral. If you're an MP and you don't know if you visit dance and funeral, then you're not a Jamaican MP. All right? But I've never heard Floyd Green with such bullshit, Nestor Morgan, as going to a funeral and went off on a political charge. Is it a thing about funeral in Clarendon? Because I could remember the Cocoa Peace massacre and the government took over the funeral and Babsy Grains, that great speckled bird, and the Prime Minister took the funeral the evening, as well as you, I believe, Nestor Morgan, or were you in Faring? Somewhere or there. But you all made it into a circus, a disgraceful circus. Is it a problem when a Jamaica Labour Party love dead meat? I'm just asking. You must be able to drop, be able to separate your professional self from your human self, Mr. Morgan. All of us engage in that skill where when we are at work, we're that institutionalized person, we're that corporate person, we are that yapping chihuahua and that butty little licking poodle. That's what we do when we're in the system. But there's a different part of us when we're outside of the system, when we're on our own time, when we are in our own community, Mr. Morgan. It's not all about politics. So you coming out here on the defense to say people are upset because you have announced to people they are getting road and water. It's a bullshit of a double down because that's not what people are talking about. It's not the announcement, Minister. It was where the announcement was made. I hope you can get it now because you didn't seem to get it first. Because you said people are upset that people are getting road and water, which is not what the upset was about. The upset was about why at a funeral, Mr. Morgan, why you couldn't be human at the funeral, why you couldn't be sympathetic, why you couldn't be empathetic, Mr. Morgan. This is what we're saying. We're not talking about what you have announced. Why you have to go there with the politics? Is that the only thing Mr. Morgan understand? You mean that Mr. Morgan hasn't got any level of humanity in him? It is what we're saying, Mr. Morgan. So it's not about the road and the water. Stop making it like that. It's not really that. It's really about the nonsense of how you do things. So now stop the coming into public and making yourself look twice as stupid as you have in the past. Don't do it. You're not talking to children. If at my family funeral you come and went on a political charge, may I get up out of my seat and may I draw the mic out of your hand? Because I know that me want to hear my mother's funeral or my family funeral. I just don't want to hear that. That is not the time for that. Me wouldn't want to listen to none of my family funeral going off looking for votes. The fact that you don't turn up at the funeral, we all know it's vote looking. That's how the cycle of our politics work. So you don't have to open on the mouth and talk lagaras for us to vote for you all. The fact that you don't turn up, the older we turn around to one another and say, look there, I vote them, I look, It's what happens in Jamaica. When we have funeral, ask anybody in a Jamaica if he is not a diehard tribal. We're happy for them. If you are the average Jamaican, once your family dead and you see politician turn up, you automatically go turn to the other person next to you and say, watch it, I vote them, I look, Because if I never vote them, I look, you never see them turn up. It's just the facts. So you never have to go off on a vote looking. We know, say, for anyone who not turn up a funeral, it's about vote. So you coming and going off on a vote looking tangent. And the worst thing is you come out with such doubling down. You come out doubling down so much. And you uncross the road. You know the vlogger cross the road. That's what the big draws one them. On a other way of come out and talk about something totally different from the issue at hand. May I remind you once more? I cannot remind you this enough, but I will continue to remind you all until you get it. The days of RJR and JBC has ended. The days of RJR and JBC has ended. The problem with you politicians, you're still living in the RJR and JBC analog go off stream midnight TV. Uno not able to catch up to 24-hour, Uno still not catch up to 24-hour TV. I still the sign off at midnight. I did the last program when the TV turned grainy and stripy. Anyone remember the days where the politician had all living? You remember when TV turn off pan you and just turn colorful pan you? The stripy TV. Our politicians are still living in that era of news and journalism where TV sign off and give it stripy color at midnight. Them not catch up yet. Them don't catch up. Them still living at the RJR and JBC analog era. We are heading a handmiggle. We are in the handmiggle era. We not sit down and we don't have to sit down and do anything anymore. We're in the handmiddle on the go era. Uno still a sign off at midnight. RJR and JBC. Uno still a sign off at midnight. When not catch up to 24-hour TV, where they are walk and talk with TV, broadcasting, media, and journalism. Walk and talk journalism, we know. We not talk about the journalism, them go 1 mile and them take the camera lens and them pull up and them say, especially over Gaza, they normally stay at Tel Aviv and pull up the camera and say, oh, you look at Gaza, there's plumes of smoke and plumes of snow. No, we're in the thick of it now. This is no longer the days where journalists stand up all a mile away from the incident and point their camera lens and pull up it for you feel so they're near to it. Come on, people. Catch up with us. Catch up with us. It's hard teaching you all to come out of the analog era. It's hard for you to catch up and come out of the analog TV, sign off a midnight TV. But you know, say in a walk and talk, the thing name now. Walk and talk journalism. Everybody can do their own journalism. So you don't have to like cross the road there so. Put on a big girl's blouse every day and come out, come lie to keep up. Every vlogger had them niche. Every vlogger have them number. You don't have to tell lie to advance. But never mind. You're going to forget wall nail. You're going to forget wall nail to beat some things in some of these people's head. Because them really take long forget things. Terribly, terribly long forget things. Who else will I go to pan with slide? Felony Filbert. I'm still waiting to hear if the General Legal Counsel will be taking a case against the convicted criminal, Felony Filbert. They have to name them like a Trump, you know, Trump fix a name for everybody. Kathleen Kamala. So you are the Felony Filbert. Come on, people, hit the like button, man, and don't make me start. I'm not going to love war early in the morning, so talk truth. Why on a love war so early in the morning? Now, Felony Filbert, come back. There's a lot about Felony Filbert up in the air, you know. Because now as a convicted felon, Miss Filbert must resign. But we not hear Andrew and him people them with no utterance. John Brown, how you do long time? Miss Filbert come back with ear say she a thief potato. She a thief rather potato and sell. Is the legal counsel saying to us that it's okay to have a convicted criminal as an attorney, still practicing as an attorney? Is the general legal counsel saying to us that what the felon does, what Felony Filbert does is okay? It's a turned a blind eye to it thing. And she still come back with the same thieving where Marisia left her. She left thieving money and she come back a thief potato.
And don't look when you go. Don't look when buy one 2 egg and 1 slice of bread. I want bread and 2 egg. I pick it them off the sale. I call Shappy Boat, I tell Shappy Boat here to and bag of potato. That not try show no. The potato with the rod I get to distribute to the people, them get the farm them at South Chilani. This youth have it and sell them. That not try show no. This is a narcissist. This is a narcissist politics happening at South Chilani. This is what we're gonna take away out of them, man. And then we take the yam house. We are going to take up all the pipe them because they will sell the pipe them. He will sell the pipe them. He's a nasty shit in a plate.
Yeah, me I say, if I dead, him a dead fi hungry. Him couldn't give the one bag of potato to somebody for them planting. Really, if you sell one bag of potato, so it gone bad.
One bag of potato about $5,000. About $5,000, you know? About $5,000. And then I go sell a bag of potato and I go sell them for $5,000. Man, I give him about $4,000, 135 feet. Look on that, eh? When somebody could get the potato and plant the potato and give, why may I tell you, nastiness stuff of them. A long time them stay saying, a long time labor stay saying, long time stay, but look on your mouse. Don't reach in, fix up your mouse. I'll later I take away everything I take out of the yard, go put it down, and fix up the house with it. So you can't get the out of them. You should have shame Mr. Vanna Salabaga potato. It's a shame. But we want this as a good plate for him.
Ball out! Whoa! Yo, yo, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help.
Potato thief. Potato thief. Puss. Kitty, come, puss, come. You left thieving money. You come back before the case conclude. You plead guilty to the thieving and you pay $900,000. I don't know why the judge never just charge you $1 million and done. And Dalrymple, you still come back a thief potato? And we don't hear the General Legal Counsel say if they're going to take any disciplinary measures against what turned out now to be a convicted criminal. The attorney, the former Speaker of the House and MP for South Chilani, Marissa Dalrymple, the felon Filbert. This don't look good, Andrew Holness. This don't look good. Pleading guilty to a crime, it may lessen your punishment, but it not means that you're not a convicted criminal. Me notice the paper them. What you say, paper device note? Me notice the paper them, yeah? No one of them no want to refer to you as convicted criminal Dalrymple. All of them are talk about case come to an end. Dalrymple, you're a convicted criminal. If a poor people pick the Dalrymple, they're convicted criminal. Dalrymple, you're a potato thief and a convicted criminal. Woman, you must resign. You have no integrity. So me see you turn up in a white frock with you. What? We still see the stain through the white frock thief. Thief. Go on your way, thief. We still see the stain through the white dress.
And don't look on give on. Don't look on buy one two egg and one slice of bread. I want half a bread and 2 egg. I pick it time of sale. I call Shappy Boat, I tell Shappy Boat here to and bag of potato. That not try show no. The potato with the rod I get to distribute to the people, them get the farm them at South Chilani. This youth have it to sell them. That not try show no. This is a narcissist. This is a narcissist politics happening at South Chilani. This is what we're gonna take away out of them, man. And then we take the yam house. We are going to take up all the pipe them because they will sell the pipe them. He will sell the pipe them. He's a nasty shit in a plate.
Yeah, me I say, if I dead, him a dead fi hungry. Him couldn't give the one bag of potato to somebody for them planting. Really, if you say one bag of potato, so him gone bad.
Hold on now.
One bag of potato about $5,000. About $5,000. About $5,000. And then I go sell a bag of potato and I go sell him one for $5,000. Man, I give him about $4,000 or 1 3 5 feet. Look on that, eh? When somebody could get the potato and plant the potato and give, why me I tell you, nastiness stuff to them. A long time them stay saying, a long time they stay saying, long time stay, but look on your mouse. During chin fix up your mouse, and you right take away everything and take out the yard, go put it down, and fix up the house with it. So you can't get the total of them. You should have shame Mr. Vanna Salamaga potato. It's a shame. But we want this as a dub plate for him.
And where the blood clot this? And where the blood clot this?
Potato. Potato Dalwimple. Dalwimple potato. Potato Dalwimple. And you think you ought to double down. And no thing to say. We no fi say Dalwimple a criminal. And Dalwimple a thief. Well, she plead guilty to thieving, you know. A Dalwimple plead guilty to thieving. Yes, thieving Dalwimple. We want back with potato. These people are a bunch of criminals. Let's see who next. We move on to, hey, Minister Green, come here. Me see you on oral about 3 weeks ago, Oral Brown, Mr. Green. You know St. Elizabeth main goat thief, Parity top goat thief, Mr. Green. The major goat thief in your constituency, Mr. Green. Up to about much weeks ago, I see him in the same crowd. You can't tell me, Mr. Green, that you don't know Oral Brown, nor Kenton McIntosh for the matter of that, Mr. Green. Fully aware of those goat thieves, aren't you? Come here, you know them. Pivoting. You must notice the line, because the only thing I'm carrying this for is the one word. Pivoting, Mr. Green. You notice the new language, because we're into the new financial year where it's the pivoting of the government's economy, and all that. That's the only reason why I'm carrying this story, the word pivoting. But while you pivot, Mr. Green, to protect farmers from predial loss, I would advise you, Mr. Green, because you know people very, very close to Oral Brown, Mr. Green, is it not? Very, 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 Mr. Green. I know that Mr. Green is very, very close. And when I say very, very close to people who are close, very close to Oral Brown, St. Elizabeth major goat thief. In this pivoting, Mr. Green, what I would advise you to do is have a personal word with Oral Brown. When you say them catch Kenny with one, a cow or goat, them catch Kenny with where they them catch Kenny again, you know? Yes. You don't know I'm afraid for talk. The two worst goat and cow thief, them come from my community. Oral Brown and Kenton McIntosh. Jesus. If your goat not tied to you, there's a problem. So what I'm asking you, Mr. Green, is to have personal word with them, because you know say on a police now no judge them as Saint Elizabeth can't do nothing about them two thief there. So like how you pivot, I would hope that a part of your pivoting is to have a personal one-to-one with these two goat thieves, because I know it's not difficult for you to get through them, because especially Oral Brown, Mr. Green, you are immensely close to people. Yeah, Oral Brown was just in Robin's shoulder in a crowd a couple weeks ago, Mr. Green. And I know you know Oral, because you cannot tell me, Mr. Green, that you do not know Oral Brown. Not even the word aware of who Oral Brown is, you know, Mr. Green. No Oral Brown. Will you be having in your pivoting to protect Pradia Losney, Mr. Green? Because you know how well the community of parity and St. Elizabeth and the broader Jamaica suffers from Pradia Losney. But these two people who I'm mentioning, Mr. Green, are two of the top thieves from my community. Oral Brown and Kenton McIntosh. I don't even pull them up, and if I even pull them up on a slide this morning, but I will show you later. But a lot of people here know who Oral Brown and Kenton McIntosh is, because their photographs have been thrown on here many times. So I'm hoping, Mr. Green, I'm hoping that Mr. Green will have a word one-to-one and say, tone it down, my youth. I hope Mr. Green can invest, but them youth then raise go to the media. Go to Mr. Green say, invest. Give them money for invest in a goat pen and goat raising. But them man they don't like raise goat. Them man they only thief goat. But I don't know what is happening to the judges and the police in St. Elizabeth. I honestly don't know. Black River Police Station, Whitton Police Station in Westmoreland, and all the Tadaradas Police Station. I don't know what is happening. I shared with you on here many times what Oral and get arrest. And I count up the many times them in a last year too, no, what Oral and Kenny take up people goat. You know, see when Papa did do the big video where Oral has 11 goat and one big old a bull cow in a one car.
Ball out! Whoa, yo, yo, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help.
So, Mr. Green, I'm just hoping, Mr. Green, that you can have a what is the no sound? Who not hear no sound? Jamrock, somebody type and tell Jamrock to refresh, because me not see nobody else say them not hear no sound. Me don't understand what is going on with the judges and the police. Listen, people, me last count, the community last count of the time these guys have been arrested, particularly Oral Brown. Can you see Kenny? Bolt now, hey, hallelujah. Dr. Usain Bolt don't have much bank Kenton McIntosh, to be honest with you. It's Uncle Joe Bolt No manage to run against Kenton. Bolt not have much pan Kenton. Because it's very weird when police catch Kenton McIntosh. Very, very weird. That fucker can run. Him outrun anything. That's why I say him not both not have much pan him. I just true. Him not run against ball. Lord Jesus. You know how Kenton start thief cow? Kenton put on 4 water boat pan the cow. But him turn the water boat them back and front. So him a go east with the cow. But when you chop the water boat, you go chop the water boat, go west. That's how dangerous these thieves are. And a lot of Jamaicans are involved in the buying of the backdoor deal, cut-off price meat. We and with crime, protecting and coercing. Mr. Green, will you have a word with these guys? Because I know you know them. And the reason why I'm asking you to have a personal word, Mr. Green, you may be able, you may be able to get through to them because the judges and the police are sent to Elizabeth, Mr. Green. Nah, I can't do nothing, I mean, no. If dopey lock them mouth or be a blind everybody, but the world did say the much cow and goat when Papa did break that story there. And I made it come telling us and my community him come from. 11 goat and one big old cow in a one car. If Oral out of jail and a thief in a 3 weeks, you must celebrate Oral. Him can't keep his hand off of Oral and Kenny can't keep them hand off of people things. Mr. Green, please, may I beg you, sir. Please, may I beg you, have a word with Oral and Kenny. Because party people would have want to raise goat. St. Elizabeth people would have want to raise goat. But it's a high risk to raise goat in a St. Elizabeth. It is a high risk, Mr. Green, to raise goat in St. Elizabeth. Please have a word with Oral and Kenny. Me know you know who they are, and me know it's easy for you to get through to them or people who can get through to them. Because Black River Police, St. Elizabeth Police, Westmoreland Police, me no know, and the judge them. Me don't know, me just say me no know. No say me say, me just say me no know if them I get money out of the goat money and the cow money. Why every time these youth get arrested with goat and cow, them get bail, and in a 3 weeks, them get arrested with goat and cow again. This has been going on for years, you know, my people. These are people who I know personally. This thing has been going on for years. I don't just know. Them start from thieving your animal and kill it and skin it on the spot. Them move up to transporting cow and goat in a car. It's a syndicate. And not just them two, it's a syndicate, but they are the main ringleaders. The ringleaders are from my community. They're not the only two, it's a syndicate. That group that they're in, it's about 6, 7 of them. That group of goat thieves in Mr. Green constituency is about 6, 7 of them. But the 2 ringleader are people who Mr. Green know And as a consequence of that, I'm asking him to have a one-to-one with them, because so much time them get arrest, get bail, and the story just done, and them thief again, and it's the same cycle. They say, but we're tired. Tired, Mr. Green. Very tired of Oral Brown and Kenton McIntosh. Very tired, Mr. Green. So in your pivoting, try to pivot to something that might just help, because the police them not help with that. Not at all. Not at all. Now, you know the budget is coming up. We're in a new fiscal year. The government is saying to us, I have managed the economy so well. Sorry. And I am good at managing the economy. Therefore, I can wind the budget a bit lower this fiscal year. While on the other hand, even the Minister of Finance is sort of accepting that the country is technically in a recession. Two things can be true at the same time, Miss Favor. But which of these are true? Is it that the budget is a bit less this year because the government managed it well? Or is it because the country is in a recession? Because Jamaica doesn't have a theft act, the easy jerk. It's the same old predial loss, which them update so much other laws. And I don't know why them not create a theft act and wholeness around through some legislation through parliament. We're not really necessary at the moment, but such a legislation that would properly define theft, it would define robbery, aggravated robbery, the different form of all those with proceeds of thingy there, handling stolen goods and all of that. All of that would be properly defined in the Theft Act. But you would probably want to have an opinion as to why Jamaican politicians don't see it necessary to have a properly defined Theft Act. Maybe one could want to wonder why our politicians is not interested in having a defined Theft Act. So we can say this is thief and this is thief and this is thief and this is how you get to the conclusion so somebody a thief because it full all the elements set out in the legislation that would lead to a charge of stealing, whether it be stealing with intent or stealing by finding, because you know there's a common law rule in Britain. I think it's common law. I don't think it's a legislative. I'll have to double check. I think it's common law, where there's a you can find something and you're actually charged for an offense of theft. It's called theft by finding. You can actually find something, and if circumstances turn out, you can be charged for an offense of theft by finding. You can also be charged for stealing your own possession. The act of theft is a very complicated one, just like the rape act. Very complicated. But you may wonder why our politician is not interested in having a properly defined theft act in our country, because it might, yes, theft by finding, it might just be a net that a lot of people would get caught in. You see, it may be, if we have a properly defined theft act that would model the theft act in the United Kingdom, you might find a net broad enough that would catch a whole lot of people in. Those who would waddle their way or want to waddle their way out of the proceeds of this, that, and all the others. So it's important that Ms. Favorall tells us, which is it? Is it that the budget is worn down because we are in a recession? Or is it because the Prime Minister manages the economy very well? And if it is that you are going to advance the argument that is because the Prime Minister has managed the economy very well, as you're saying here, as you would seem to be saying, then you should be able to, even though you're going to point out a waddle and a waffle next month at the budget presentation, we're waiting for you to tell us all those grandiosos and all sort. Remember, Miss Favorall, the appropriations account. So you see, one government I got end a whole cycle without of 2 terms, without submitting appropriations account to tell you, the people, how your money is being spent and on what it is being spent. Becoming assured these appropriations account will be submitted before the general election. And the trajectory of how it looks on both road show, because it's silly season, election campaign has started, albeit undeclared. It really looked like the JLP will be losing power. So we'll have a government going through 2 terms over a 9-year period and have not submitted one appropriations account to be audited. Given that central and local government is rat infested, we heard it in Parliament the other day, because rat couldn't just send local government and rat not central government, because rats are very busybody. And Jamaica, we know, is being swarmed with rats. We hear the complaint from those in Kingston every day, and most of these central offices of government are in Kingston. People are telling, oh, rat brazen and bare-faced. And we heard in our Parliament the other day that rat, R-A-T, puss, take with the receipt them and cargo berry. Rat. R-A-T, puss, take the receipt and destroy it. So we won't be able to know how much how much money and what our money is being spent on, and if they're spent for legitimate purposes. Because those who should provide account say, rain wet it up when hurricane come, flood it out, rat piss pan it, rat shit pan it, rat eat it up. That's our system of governance, the digitalized society. When you say the Prime Minister wicked and lie, the Prime Minister sit down every day and chant about digital society, and we don't even have a proper accounting system across government. Government still are working a hardcover book. Government still are working a hardcover book. So that can gang up on the hardcover book and sit down and eat it out. Therefore, the evidence is no longer there. You know the amount, you know them. I wonder if Andrew and Prince Charles fixed burial the other day because they want to get rid of all heap of things. Because the amount of things where burial get blamed for since burial go on with ourselves. Since burial go on with ourselves, the amount of things we hear them come out and blame burial about all the road them where Andrew maintain since him coming a government when him cut the maintenance fund. Beat and teach, oh, you turn obsolete, me know you're busy. Well, go on, my friend. All the road fund where him cut. The road where him don't maintain. Me see people are saying to Elizabeth have to drive choose sinkhole when you look down there. You don't know if Satan down there because the hole deep. Jamaica is a country on the edge, falling apart. Everything mash up in a Jamaica. The fact that the Prime Minister get up every day and tell we say, good economic management, oh please, Prime Minister. One thing, the Labour right them wicked, but they have to admit say, cost of living a kill them. No, they're wicked enough for this for deny it. Because what they are doing, I heard them a lot. And a Jamaica alone, cost of living high. That's not a lie. That's not a lie. And a Jamaica alone, cost of living high. But compare to what you can get for £1 in the United Kingdom, as opposed to what you would get for $200 in Jamaica, is a crying disaster. Because $200 can't really buy nothing in Jamaica anymore. Maybe not even a patty, $200 can buy. I can get 8 sweet pepper out of the £1. How much sweet pepper can you get out of $200 in Jamaica? I can get 4 to 5 to 6 potato out of the £1. How much potato can you get for £200 in Jamaica? So when you run the narrative, say, cost of living high everywhere, it's not true. When you compare the exchange rate, cost of living in Jamaica is way out of bounds compared to what we would pay for the calculated value here. When we get out of £1 here, you can't get out of £2 in Jamaica, or somebody in the US or Canada, we get out of $1. You cannot get for it in Jamaica for whatever the equivalent of that is in Jamaica. So cost of living in Jamaica is extortionately high. Look at the price of cabbage and them thing there. And them I tell you, say a Jamaica cabbage, you don't know if a Jamaica cabbage or a foreign cabbage, because foreign cabbage also hard, tough, heavy something. Jamaica cabbage tend to be much lighter. But you can't compare foreign cost of living to Jamaica cost of living. You just cannot. Cost of living in Jamaica is extortion. And no matter how labor rights are run, come out here and say it cost of living high everywhere. Wanna see them wanna feel it as well. It don't make no sense to no pretend. Cost of living high for all of us. Compared to what things were before the pandemic and Ukraine war, cost of living went up for everybody. I'm not denying or disputing that. But when you look at the price of things in Jamaica, see, Zelta Derek has said $300 per pound for sweet potato. $300. $300 a pound for sweet potato. So, you can have the arguments that cost of living high everywhere, and therefore it's okay in Jamaica. If it's one thing Jamaica people are suffer with is the high cost of living for food. It really is causing a problem in Jamaica. People have to be changing the way them eat, decide what them buy when them go supermarket. That is a worrying cry across the country. Even uptown people, I feel the pinch of cost of living. So no, if you use silly because of party allegiance and justify the hardship what the whole away go through together. Because this is not a PNP hardship or a JLP, it's a Jamaica hardship. All are we, regardless of party affiliation. Regardless of party affiliation, all of us are subjected to the same food price. Hello, there is a change in requirement for the indigent housing. Look on me now look pan Ingram and Ingram accounting. You know why me now look on it? Ingram and Ingram accounting. Whatever them change it to, it don't necessary now because we collected the evidence. And until they can address their words in public that we played for them and we show them, they could have changed it 1 billion times. We know them, it's a scam to thief poor people, and they know it's a scam. What they did not expect is for us to catch on to the scam. They have taken out the line, the land ownership. No matter what they take out, they can't fool the public anymore. So if them are going to take it out, too little, too late, beat and teach. If them are going to take it out, then them need to provide the nation assurance, and those people who Desmond McKenzie reassured us that in the past people have died and they have passed their property on to others. So I'm hoping that the minister can come back and verify. But remember, up until now, them don't respond to it. Them rather turn around and say, are we mischievous?
Indigent housing program of the government of Dr. Andrew Ness, and I'm really proud of what we have been able to accomplish and lives that we have touched and changed.
I'm happy that you've shed some light on it, and I would have wanted you to a little bit more into the program itself, since it was started by your ministry.
Okay, what the program does, as I said before, persons can apply. They are investigated by the poor relief officers. They must have the land to build the units. And what
them could have changed it to Xeris, Mavis, Ivoline, Maybelline, Jasmine. We have the original evidence. This is what they must address.
the social indigent housing program of the government of Dr. Andrew Ness. And I'm really proud of what we have been able to accomplish and lives that we have touched and changed.
I'm happy that you've shed some light on it. And I would have wanted you to a little bit more into the program itself, since it was started by your ministry.
Okay, what the program does, as I said before, persons can apply. They are investigated by the poor relief officers. They must have the land to build the units. And once that is done, we now proceed after the investigation to see whether or not the persons are eligible. They meet the criteria which is set up, because you must be a part of a program that does not allow you on your own. And there are cases where we have provided houses for persons who probably are not that destitute, but because of their circumstances, we have provided for them. Now, the Poor Relief Department of the municipal corporations retain responsibility for the units.
Yes.
So while you occupy those units...
This is where I want to hold this. They call them journalists. This is where I want to hold him in a locks. I want to wrap it round my hand, and I want to draw him go over the side of the street there, and I want to drag him come back over the side of the street. Because right in front of him, the minister spoke a contradiction. The minister spoke a contradiction in front of this journalist, so-called. And not a question or rebuttal on the minister's contradiction. You must provide the land, said the minister. Then the minister went further on down the road to tell you, but us local government take ownership of the thing. And when you pop your clogs, said the minister, we choose who to give it to without a land criteria, a waddle of contradiction. Mr. Journalist, I want all you in your locks. I want to wrap me hand round it. I want to drag you go so. And I want to drag you come so, because journalism is not what uno do. Uno have fireside chat with politicians. You Jamaica boot-licking, back-scratching, pocket-picking, toe-picking journalists. You all have fireside chat rather than investigative journalism and fair reporting. Now, here is the Jamaica Information Service, which is not an Andrew Holness institution, an institution for the people of Jamaica, an institution paid for by the taxpayers of Jamaica, but rather they investigate and tell us. They sit down and have fireside chat. Fireside chat, cheap fireside chat with government ministers, and not able to even spot or brave enough to counter a minister's contradiction. Uno name big letter Dunce. Dunce written crossway on a forehead. How did you get that job, mister?
The social indigent housing program of the government of Dr. Andrew Ness, and I'm really proud of what we have been able to accomplish and lives that we have touched and changed.
I'm happy that you've shed some light on it, and I would have wanted you to a little bit more into the program itself, since it was started by your ministry.
Okay, what the program does, as I said before, persons can apply. They are investigated by the poor relief officers. They must have the land to build the units. And once that is done, we now proceed after the investigation to see whether or not the persons are eligible. They meet the criteria which is set up, because you must be a part of a program that does not allow you on your own. And there are cases where we have provided houses for persons who probably are not that destitute, but because of their circumstances, we have provided for them. Now, the Poor Relief Department of the municipal corporations retain responsibility for the units.
Yes.
So while you occupy those units, the Poor Relief Department does its monthly checking on the units. You are not allowed to do any addition to the units. The units come fully furnished. It is something that I when I came up with the idea of furnishing the units, we did it because there are cases where we saw persons have homes, but there is nothing for them to sleep on. So we figured it does make sense to give you a nice room, and then you have to sleep on the cold ground.
Or furnish the
So we provide the necessary furnishing for the unit. Right. Now, the unit cannot be rented. It is not for sale. No addition can be done to the unit. And the unit cannot be handed down to family. And we have cases where occupants have died, and the Poor Relief Department retains the unit, and then
This must be addressed, Minister, because I've been made aware by Ingram and Ingram Accounting on TikTok that they have taken out the line of the land ownership bit from the website. You remember last week the website went down. People couldn't get access to the website last week. Now I'm being made aware that they have taken out that land ownership line. But if they're taking out that line, Minister, it would have mean that the government lied, that the government run a scam, Minister. In particular, where you say in the past people have died and the municipal corporation take ownership of the land. We therefore then, Minister, need clarity on that. On those cases where you have already taken ownership of the land, was that land that the person owned, or was it government land, Minister? It is important that you make that bit clear, given, Minister, that you have changed what the original qualifying criteria was, Minister. Why them thief ya be face, you know? Because the members of them come out saying, lie them a tell part me. The minister said, we are lying. We just walk on can news, said the minister. We just want to make mix up. We want to tar and feather a good program, if you are to listen to the minister. And then the boot-licking vlogger went on her rant to say how we are rather despicable.
In Central Kingston.
I see they put out that thing about me, about the Indigent housing program. I Prime Minister social housing program. Once it is built on government property, if something go wrong, then it is the responsibility of the government to look about it. Those persons who find their own property and come in and it's legitimate, we never tell nobody that we are going to take nothing from them. what they're trying to do.
That's not true, Minister. So it is important for you to come back and make certain clarification to the people. Because you told us that the qualifying criteria is that the indigent person must have land. At no time, Minister, in that splutter or the information you had online, Minister, we were told anything about government land. You see? So you see where the confusion creeps in. Me notice I don't have clear understanding, you know. Me notice understanding is not a privilege nor a right when it comes to JLP ministers. Because the minister make it clear to us that you must have land. Even before the Poor Relief Department start to investigate of your condition, they must verify that you have land. At no point the minister explained to us that because they're poor and indigent, minister, one does not expect them to have land. It would be the sort of expectation, isn't it? But you told us that is a criteria. At no time in that criteria measurement, we heard that these indigent housing were built on government land. We are yet to hear you all said that prior to us finding out a heist been run on poor people. Every one of you who spoke or wrote about it, whether it be the new social housing program or the indigent social housing program, land ownership has always been a criteria. First, we're being told about government land. So you see why it's important for us to have clarity. Chopping and changing the information does not solve the issue that was raised, the concern of poor people's land. That is the concern. All right? Just hoping you might get it. Boy, it's hard. It's hard. When it comes to explaining things to labor right ministers, it's hard. Very hard. Because them just don't get it. Or it could be a case where they're playing willful stupidity. It could be a case, you know. It could be a case of willful stupidity. Bad to bad, them couldn't so dunce. But then again, look at George Wright. I mean, what is he qualified to do other than wheeling a stool in public, abusing a woman who he handed the ring and the rose to after? He said that he's back. But did George Wright ever went anywhere? I don't think so. Standing outside of church looking through the window doesn't mean you didn't attend church. Just saying, George Wright. Anyway, sun a shine out of doing in England, but I tell you, it cold no rasta. Cold like judgment out there, but the sun turn up out of the MP stool. Yeah. The only thing George Wright qualified to do is wielding a stool. Hey, no man. No, sir. We have to go over here now. Over George Wright cousin say, hey, the thunder of Oreb. Remember the woman where the prime minister will get the host, movie star, the one in the white frock. When she said, Bush was covering over the house, and I was so scared. No, ma'am, not scared. Scared. Scared is already past tense there. Scared is already past tense. Not scared. Just scared. Scared is enough. Let us look for a movie star. Our movie star there.
You're right. This member of parliament.
Hold on. Notification. No, man, we want to start when George wrong. Why the notification? Fast. What is wrong with this notification? Bull of crap. All right. Come in now, John.
Westmoreland in general, love this member of parliament.
No, man.
You're right. This member of parliament.
We want to show no when hold on. We want to show no when Judge Writer come in, but me don't know why. This you hold on there. I know this is one, yeah. I have to go further down, I think, to find she and George. But we want to know the circus clown. Yes, the circus clown, yeah. Circus come to town. Let's move the star. Labor rights. Me asked on the last night, and I go ask on who not so bad mind? We not can support one another. Now talk to labor rights. Oh, no crowd them look so liquor job. Look pa we anti-ma, we have to show Marlene a dash foot. Hey, Marlene, come dash foot for the crowd before we left here this morning. We could never leave this morning without the minister dashing foot left, right, and center. No man, minister for dash foot, boy. Yeah. Could be a bullshit come to town. When bullshit come to town, anything possible. We thank you. We thank you for being here with us this morning on the Global Television Group. Lovely to have your support as always. If you have not yet hit the like button or the follow button, whichever platform you are on, please make sure you give us a subscription or a follow and give us all the support that you can. Thank you for being here this morning. We will rock our way out with the Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, Dunce as Bat, Marlene Malahoo Fourth.
I think Madam can move. What you got again? What you got? What you got? What you got? What you got?
Well, Marlene Malahoo Fourth has created history by doing her night before the political death. Thank you very much for being here with us this morning on the Global Television Group. We come on every day, 7 a.m. in the morning and 6 p.m. in the evening Eastern Time. That is 12 noon or sometime 1 UK time and 11 p.m. UK time. So thank you all very much. With Marlene and our big crowd and the Oprah green canvas, cut them up and turn them into people, Marlene. Make the crowd look a bit bigger. Thank you all very much. Good morning and good afternoon from the Global Television Group.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.